Sometimes the best way to start again is to rip something up. Hello, I'm Jeanne Marie, and today I wanted to do something super simple and make artwork from pre-existing artwork, a collage in fact. So no pressure, something just anybody can do, just creating really. So let's get into it. First, I needed to go through all my old artwork and see what was good for making a collage. And I have so much bad artwork and experimentation that it was really easy to find stuff. Maybe I could make a whole video on just going through my ugly old artwork because there's a lot of it. Let me know if you guys want to see that and I will film it. Once I decided on a couple things, it was easy to cut out the parts that I liked and was going to use. The figure on this did not bother me, it was just the hair, so I cut that out. And I found this old paper that had just a plain gouache background, and I thought that that would be really easy to just build on top of it without having to like come up with a whole new idea and create from scratch. So I just found some art that I knew I would never use for anything. I don't even know why I picked what I picked, just random. And I cut out all the excess and just left the colored shapes and kind of assorted them so I could put them in piles and try to figure out what to do. Some of the paper was ripped, but a lot of it I had to cut because it was on such good paper. It was so, the thickness, the cardstock, the weight was just so thick I couldn't actually tear it easily. So I think for a more organic look, ripping the paper definitely looks better for collage, but you know, to each your own. You use the materials that you have and work with what works for your style and what you want to make. If you want it real clean cut, those leaves were cut because that paper is super thick with the papers at top. The light green are very light paper, so it was easy to rip and it gives it that like really organic edge. So, you know, you can decide from there. Next, you want to just lay out your design however you want to do that, and then take a picture of it. And then that way, when you start gluing things down, you have a reference photo. I'm just trying out a couple different things because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And the truth is that it's been a slow process getting back into art making, but I've been thinking about making collage for months and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do it today. So yeah, so it was really good to just work with my hands and not have to figure out how to like create something new, but just use what I already had to make something. So again, I'm just trying to figure out how I want to get this down, and then I'm going to take a photo of it. I had another idea to have like a floral arrangement out of the top of the head, like a crown almost. So I was trying to see if that was a better idea than just doing a figure, keeping it simple. But I don't know if it's just the way that I cut the shapes out or the patterns on the papers that I picked. I mean, it's just so random. But you'll see that I just chose to keep it simple this time around. I got a matte Mod Podge for the glue, I'm not a collage expert at all, so I really didn't know what works best. But this was relatively cheap and it's pretty thin. I don't know if you can water it down more, but the materials that I was using were very, very thick, super heavyweight. So, and it worked really well keeping them down. But yeah, so if there's a better option out there, feel free to let me know. But this worked fine for what I was doing. I'm not going to sell this or give this to anybody. This is just for me to try to get through burnout and get back in the studio doing what I love. But yeah, it's a long, tedious process of gluing them all down. But as you can see, that matte medium, that Mod Podge dries clear, so you can't see anything. I love it. Turned out really great with that. Last was to do the hair, and I wanted to do it longer originally, like shoulder length, long pink hair, but I decided to keep it short and cute. So I'm starting to think about finishing touches at this point because there's so much texture and color. There's a lot going on in this image, and my natural instinct is to like paint on top of this and to add more. But I have found that the more that I do, like the less that I like it. So I go through this process of like, I'm really excited at first and then I don't like it. And then I get to a point where I'm like okay with it. And if I go past that, then I end up just like not liking it. So after thinking about it and like mulling it over, I'm just gonna keep it. I actually really, really like it. And I think it's great just the way it is. Thanks for watching. This was really fun to try and get back into art making. Feels like it's been a long time, but I'm slowly getting back into the rhythm. If you've ever reused old artwork to make new artwork, I would love to hear about it. And that's it for me today. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye now.